Perfect.
Hi,
Chandler, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing super. I'm doing super. I mean, you know what better way to continuing this Epic Friday by speaking with someone as talented and badass and cool and unique. I mean, I can go all night. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. I'm excited to do this. This is my first interview sort of thing. So this
Okay.
this is really cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the show. It is so cool and amazing to have you here, as I mentioned. So, before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome, for someone as such with a career as yourself. So, if you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, let me just show you. Epic, I know.
Love it.
At some point we're gonna have live audience. You can count on that, but we're still working.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Matter of time.
Fantastic. Now, tell me how your acting career started.
So I think I decided I wanted to be an actor. This is always a funny story. It was when I was watching Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan. And I was just like, she is so cool. She can play the guitar. She's in a band, but she's acting. Like, for some reason, that movie is like, I really wanted to be a part of it. But my first real acting started when I was in 6th grade. There was a girl in my class that was doing local community theater, and I was like, I'll join. Why not? And they were doing a musical review, and it was so much fun. And growing up before that point, I had been doing sports, and I suck at sports.
Okay.
All of it. I did soccer, tennis, everything. I sucked at all of it. And then I started theater, and I was like, this is my thing. This is my thing. Okay. This is what I like to do. And then from there it was kind of slow. I only did community theater up and through high school. I did all the musicals and stuff. And then I was like, okay, I need to buckle down and become an electrical engineer. So I did that for a little bit, realized I hated it, became a math teacher instead. So my students are saying hello, my past students. No, you cannot turn in Math Excel anymore. Okay. So then I became a math teacher, and in between there, while I was in college a little bit, I got an agent. I tried to do some projects, and then when I became a teacher for a little while, I was like, I think maybe this is what I love to do. But then acting was just kind of in the back of my mind, and so it was really like beginning of 2019 that I was like, I can't ignore this anymore. This is what I have to do. This is my calling, and I can't keep putting it on the back burner. I need to just go after it. And so that's when I really started giving it my main focus.
I love it. Such a journey.
Yes, long journey.
I mean, you have basically done everything.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. Amazing. People are always surprised now that I'm in LA. People that meet me, they're like, you're like a math person? Whereas it's complete opposite in Utah. People know me as this math person, and they are surprised when I'm an actor, and so now it's opposite now that I'm in LA.
That is amazing. I mean, as I said, you're basically doing everything. I mean, this interview, we could finish it by saying, she's doing everything, she's killing it. Good night, everyone. That's it. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And what were some of the challenges that you had when you were originally starting with your acting career? Because I think it happens to all of us, right? That whenever we're starting something, we just don't know what the hell we're doing, So,
yeah.
So what were some of the challenges that you had when you were, originally started?
Yeah, I'm such a perfectionist, and that's why I've always been like a math person. And it's different with acting because you really just have to learn as you go. And in math, obviously you make mistakes too, but it was very overwhelming because I was like, how do I get clear up here when I'm like at the very bottom? And it was mostly, I learned very quickly, like making connections and I decided, okay, this is going to be my main focus. I'm in Utah and I want to just get some exposure and all this experience here if LA is going to be where I eventually want to be. And so I really just focused on making connections, which I got on those film Facebook groups. I was auditioning. I got back with my agent that I had been with. So I focused solely on making connections.
Okay.
And that's what helped me, because the challenge was just trying to take it all on and being overwhelmed with all these places I want to go and not knowing how to get there. So just
Yeah.
focusing on one small thing, and connections is really everything. So that was a good thing to focus on.
I love it. And starting with your acting career, so you were in The Secret Gift. Tell me, was that like one of your first projects? And what are some of the things that you learned from those first experiences?
Yeah, so Shannon Ryan Angel, who's a good friend of mine in Utah, it was funny because she and I kept running into each other at auditions. We were always auditioning for the same thing. And so she ended up reaching out to me because she was like, hey, I want to submit something to this film festival. Would you want to come be a part of this thing that I wrote? And I was like, yeah, that would be super fun, because we had never worked together. We just kept running into each other at auditions.
Yeah.
And so I went, and it was like a one-day shoot, super fun. It was for like a Christmas film festival in Utah. And it was a lot of fun. I met friends doing that, and Shannon and I have stayed friends and done multiple projects together. And that's also what inspired me, like, hey, I can also write my own stuff, because she just put this script together and it was really fun. And I was like, why can't I do that too? So then I started working on my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And later on, you were in A Matter of Death and The Damsel. Tell me, what can you tell me about your characters, but also how you usually prepare a character? Now I understand, of course, that depends on the role, but like, what usually sets you up, into this, let's say, process.
Yeah, so Matter of Death was really exciting because that was the first real film I booked through my agent in Utah, and it was really fun. It was a dark character, and those usually come more naturally to me. I don't know why, but any sort of darker character, even some of my acting teachers have been like, you could jump into horror today, but you need to work more on your comedy. So usually something, and this is something I've recently learned and started doing as well, is character thoughts. So thinking character thoughts, figuring out what makes this character tick, what would they be thinking in this moment. And so even before I begin the scene, start thinking thoughts, what could have happened before, and getting myself in that headspace, and then making sure I continue those throughout, because thoughts are what lead into how you're going to say your lines. And so I usually, like, obviously I memorize everything, but even before that, I don't even focus on memorization. It's just, what is this character thinking? And usually I'll jot stuff in the margins, just different phrases, and so I can say those in my head to get me in the space I need to be.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And like, what are usually some of the things that you enjoy the most when you are preparing, but also playing a character?
It's so fun jumping into something new. I feel like my general life can get so repetitive that finding a new character and finding out what makes them tick is so interesting and exciting to me. It's just taking on a completely new role, obviously, but it's so interesting coming up with like a backstory. I feel like that's my favorite thing, and that helps find those character thoughts, and it may be completely wrong to what the script actually is, right? But this backstory will help me be where I think that character needs to be, and then later if they like give me notes on how to change that, that's fine. But especially for auditions, having that backstory that can help take you where you need to go is the funnest part for me. I like to just write it down in pencil in the back of my script, and it's just like stream of consciousness about this character and their whole life story. And then once it's all written, I just read what I've written to the point of where like I can just sit and visualize this person's life that I am now in. Wow. And that's been the funnest part for me, is just coming up with that backstory and getting into it.
I love it. And last year you were in Action. Tell me about that project, but also, what do you think it's important for storytelling?
What's important for storytelling? So that one was fun. Actually, Shannon Ryan Angel, who I did my first project with, The Secret Gift, has this amazing group of friends. I think Savannah, I saw that you joined. She was in it. And she invited me in to this project, and I met some amazing people. And that one was fun too, because I was asked to help with script supervising on the side, and that's the hardest job. I feel bad for everyone who has to do that job. That's so hard. but it was good being on that crew side of it and learning that too. But with storytelling, I think it's so reactionary, and being able to really listen. And that's really what acting comes down to as well.
Yeah.
And like being someone that also has written a script and had people act in it, I think that giving them the freedom to kind of change things a little bit so they can help their character truly come to life helps a ton with telling that story. And some people are very strict about their scripts and don't want that done, but I've been lucky enough that a lot of the projects I've been on, I've been able to do that. And so with the pilot that I wrote, I really made sure that the actors knew that they could take that character where they thought that they needed to go, and it made it so much better.
Wow.
And yeah, that makes all the difference.
I love it. I love it. And what advice could you give to those who are recently started their acting career?
I would say make connections. And it's never too late, because I mean, I'm fairly young, but I feel like I get stuck in my head sometimes of, if I'd only just kept doing this as a kid, then I would have gotten an agent sooner. I would have gotten a better agent. I could have maybe been here. But you can't think about the past. You just have to think about your future and where you're going, and take it one day at a time. Make connections.
Yeah.
Get in a class. That's the first thing I would say, is get in an acting class, because that's one of the best acting classes that I've taken was in Salt Lake. If anyone's had the opportunity to work with Michael Flynn in the Actors Workshop, he's fantastic, and he's helped me so much in my career, and I can't thank him enough. Love him to death. And I learned so much in his class. But I'm in 2 different classes right now, and you will always learn something new from a different person. Yeah. And those actors that you meet in your class, they're going to be your support system, and then you can make projects together, and you really need that support system if you're going to succeed. So number one thing, I'd say, get in a class.
I love it. I love that. That is awesome. I mean, I love it. I love your, as I mentioned before, your career. It is amazing. That is super cool. And moving over here, so tell me about your music career. You know, how it all started.
Yeah, so that's been really new. I've always I started playing piano when I was very young, and I started playing guitar in junior high. Eventually I wanted to be in a band. That was the whole reason I learned guitar, but I ended up staying with acoustic because that's what I liked. And I always wanted to write music, but I was afraid to start because I was like, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be so bad. I'm not gonna even try. And it wasn't until I started taking voice lessons with Jeff McLean, amazing. And he was like, okay, your homework for this week is, I'm not even gonna give you a song to sing, just write a song. And write the worst song that's ever been written, but write one. And I was like, oh man, okay, I'll try. So I didn't really know, like, structure-wise, so I just wrote down a bunch of lyrics and then shared them with him, and it was about a very personal experience. And I was like, that's the other thing, is I keep everything bottled up, and so music is so personal that I was afraid to do that. And then I met with someone like that teaches songwriting, and he helped me like put it into verses and the chorus. And so I got a lot of help with my first song, but that taught me so much, and then I was able to go on from there. So I'm working on an EP, so I'm going to be releasing 6 songs on there come summer. One to None will be re-released on there. So I'm working on the 4th song right now, and then we'll have 2 more. So I'm working with a producer, Taylor Hartley, who is fantastic. And yeah, right now I'm thinking that the EP will be called Exposed, because I'm finally letting all my feelings out there, which is not something that I like to do. I don't like to feel vulnerable. So, but it's been really therapeutic, because it's interesting how when you write a song about an experience, you can finally let those feelings go. And I didn't realize how therapeutic it would be. My voice teacher was like, I have a feeling that this is going to be really good for you. And I was like, well, this is the worst right now. It's so hard when I was first getting into it. But it gets easier, and you just kind of have to trust yourself. And I'm glad I finally started. And that's, yeah, you just can't be too scared to jump into something. Don't be afraid to suck, because you'll suck at first, but you'll get better.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, I love it. Now, speaking about one to none, tell me, how was the process to create? Because I did check on it on the link you have on the description on your bio.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I love it. Super cool.
Thank you.
But tell me, like, how was the whole process to create it?
That one was a really long process, because I first wrote down, it was just like a story. I was telling a story and I didn't know how to put it together. Okay. So I was able to meet with this guy that teaches songwriting, and he helped me put it into verses and the chorus. And I tend to go towards like more sad songs. I'm better at writing those. And so we came up with like a very rough just draft of the song, and it was really slow at first and wasn't interesting. And then I didn't really know what to do with it, and my voice teacher introduced me to Taylor Hartley, and Taylor liked the song, and so we got together, and he's the one that made it really cool. I really love the violin in there, and the sadness, but also, I don't know, like it was more upbeat, but it took a long while. I think I first wrote it back in probably almost a year ago now, and I didn't release it until September, and that was really the only song I was working on in that time. It was a very slow process because I didn't know what I was doing. I did a rough cut, and then we went to a producer. So, but I'm really glad I did.
I love it.
It's really cool, and it's always going to mean a lot to me because it's the first song I ever wrote.
Yeah, it is really cool. It is really cool. I mean, if those who are watching, you haven't listened it, listen to it. Go now. It is really cool. But tell me, like, how could you describe your music?
That's a good question. I would describe it as hopefully relatable. I just want it to be relatable, especially because like there's this one song that I was working on just about like not living up to everyone's expectations. And this is one of my favorites that I can't wait to release come summer, because it's just about growing up in a society that wants you to be one person. And finally getting the courage to break out of that and follow my heart and do what I want to do. And I feel like everyone can relate to that in some way, you know? And so that's what I'm trying to do, especially because it's just finally expressing my feelings, but they're things that, I just know that I want people to relate to, and to know that they're not the only one feeling that when they listen to the music.
Yeah, I think that is one of the cool things about the whole music experience, right? Like the fact that with a song you can feel relate to, you know, and the fact that you can inspire somebody, or you can help somebody in a very dark time, or to make them happy or whatever. That is really cool. I love it. And what aspect would you say it's important when you are creating music?
So like how is it important? Say that again, sorry.
Like what aspect would you say it's important when you are in the process of creating music?
You know, it's really easy for me to get stuck when I'm trying to write music. And so I would, like, sometimes I have to give myself a goal, just force myself. I'm going to work on this song for 15 minutes every day. Even if I change one word, that still counts as working on it. Because sometimes I sit there was this song that I recently finished, and it was such a struggle, and I don't know why. And every day when I worked on it, I was like, this song doesn't want to be a song. I need to just scrap it. Like, it doesn't want to be anything. And so I would just force myself. It's like, okay, I'm just going to work on the bridge. And I changed one word. And then when I came back the next day, I was like, oh, that part looks a lot better. Like, just slowly chipping away. And I know there are some people that can write songs so quickly. And one of my songs I was able to write very quickly, and I shocked myself. But so much of the time for me, it is difficult. And it's just working on it every day and making tiny changes to the point where you're like, oh, this is a song now, I think. So it's really just forcing myself to work on it every day.
Okay.
And not
Okay.
forcing myself sounds like it's negative and it's hard, but it is hard, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to get in the habit of working on it every day.
There you go. But you're making it happen. That is really cool.
Yes.
That is inspiring.
Yes.
That is cool. Now, if you could describe your career at the moment on a movie, TV show, book, or play, what would be the title of it?
Okay, so I thought about this, and I would say it's Remember How Far You've Come.
Oh,
because
okay.
I was talking to some friends that I have here, and we were like, we need to be thankful for every little thing that's happened. And that's one goal I've really made for myself since I moved to LA, is just gratitude. Because a year ago, I was teaching math at Bountiful High School with no plans to move to LA. And a year later, I'm living in LA. I got signed with an agent, and I never would have dreamed that I'd be here a year ago. And even though I get caught up now with, okay, now I need to do this and start booking things, and I just need to remember that a year ago I was teaching school.
Yeah.
I did it. I moved to LA, and I got signed fairly quickly, which is amazing. So yeah, remember how far you've come.
I love that. And would it be a movie, TV show? What would it be?
Let's go with movie. I think it would be a movie. Yeah.
Are we thinking to make a sequel or trilogy, or would you leave it at once?
You know, I think let's just keep making them. See how much we can get out of it.
That sounds fair enough.
Yeah.
Love it. And if you could describe your career again, but now on a drink, which one would you choose?
Okay, so I think I would go with a wine, because it gets better the longer that it sits. And I only drink water, so I don't know much about lots of other drinks. I don't like juice, I don't like milk, I don't like, anyway, but I would still pick wine because I feel like I'm just going to keep getting better. As long as I stay in class, I keep working on my craft, the longer I'm working, the better I'm going to get, because I've already come so far. And so I think that's what I'd go with. Yeah.
And also, we are just getting started.
Where am I getting started?
No, that we are just getting started. I mean, your career.
Yes, exactly. I
mean, I'm super sure that at some point we're going to see you everywhere.
Oh, yes.
That's going to happen.
I don't know what hit him. Just be all over the place.
Yeah, totally.
Doing all the things.
Love it. And my last question here is, what motivates you? We all have those days, right? In which we just don't want to do it. We just feel that it's been a waste of time. We get into this existential crisis in which we're like, what the hell are we doing? Like, what the hell am I doing with my life now? We will be comparing ourselves at some point as well. So, I mean, getting inside this thing that I call toxic bubble, super easy, right? But what gets you out of it? What gets you out of it, and just continue pursuing the thing that you love the most at the end of the day?
I have to remember my dreams and where I want to go. I've been really big into vision boards. So I recently updated a vision board when I moved to LA, and I have everything that I want on there. And there are some days where I'm like, I don't want to go look at it, because I have it in a place in my room where in the morning I get out of bed and I sit in front of it and I go through everything that's on my vision board and I visualize having those things. And it's been amazing how 2 of those things have come true since I moved to LA, just looking at this vision board every single day. And even if I don't want to go look at it, it's just fun, because it's just like playing. I sit in front of it and I'm like, yes, I'm going to visualize my life as how I want to be. So I picture myself walking down the red carpet. I picture myself having this house that I want, and it's fun. It's fun to visualize once I can just get myself to do it. And if anyone doesn't believe in vision boards or doesn't have a vision board, I highly recommend you look into it, you do one, because it's been amazing what's happened to me putting things on my vision board. And it just really helps you to stay in that headspace of thinking about your goals every day, because it's so important to look at that vision board every day. Really, in the morning and before you go to bed, you should be looking at it to remind yourself of where you're going to go, and just be really positive and thankful that those things have already happened, because
Wow.
that will help you get where you need to go, and
Yeah.
just stay in that positive headspace,
I love it.
because it's all
I
about
love
gratitude.
That is amazing. And because of that, oh God. Because of that, you're definitely dropping the mic here. I mean, I'm not gonna drop it, but you know what I mean, right?
Don't drop
yeah, I'm not gonna drop it. But yeah, it is amazing what you did, Chandler. I mean, it is so cool. I mean, what a journey. I mean, you have done everything here, from teaching, acting, music now, and all of the things that you have done as well. That is so cool. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point you're basically doing everything now and be like, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. So okay, that is amazing.
Yes, and first interview. So, and you'll be like, we talked about this, and now she's doing all of it.
yeah, she's killing it now. I mean, yeah, that is so amazing. And like, one of the things here that I do love about your career is the fact that you basically decided to do it. You know, regardless of the age or the time, you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it right now, and that's it. You know, because I think that for some people, it can get discouraged if you want to do something and be like, you know, I mean, what if I'm getting too old? You know, or what if people is not gonna like me? And like, one of the things that I said to a friend once was, you already have the worst outcome, which is nothing. So what do you have to lose? You know?
Yes, so, I love that.
So definitely, what you do is amazing. It is super inspiring. I can't wait to see more of your awesome career here, either with music or with films or with everything. Keep doing what you do. It is super cool, super inspiring. And also want to thank those for watching. Thank you so much. Also, if you're watching this later, cool. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Music, thank you so much. Make sure that you follow Chandler in the normal social media. Normally, what I would say is super simple. So you're gonna put pause, and then you're gonna follow her. If you already do, fantastic. Then you're gonna leave a million likes. I mean, let's make her trendy right now. Hashtag Chandler, like right now. Let's support her music. Let's do all of these things because she rocks. And before I send you off, well, you know what's coming. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was really fun. I hope we can do this again.
I look forward to it. That would be epic.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll see you in the next one. Have an amazing rest of the evening, an amazing weekend, and nothing but amazing stuff to you, because you totally deserve each and every one of them.
You too. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It was really fun.
See you in the next one, okay? Bye.
Okay. See ya. Thank you.